Hello, co-workers, and welcome to another Twisted Wonderland Would You Rather Part 2. If you guys haven't seen Part 1 yet, I'll link it in my channel below. But since we had so much fun last time doing some Would You Rather scenarios, I've put together some additional scenarios for us to choose. What would we rather do? And of course, joining me is my friend and special guest here, Little Bean.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Give a big old welcome for those who follow me on my channel. You probably know Little Bean as well, and vice versa. And so the scenario is that I have 10 situations Twisted Wonderland related that I have prepared, and Little Bean has not seen any of them, so this is gonna
No, I
be
have not.
interesting scenario
It'll
where
be
what
brand
this
new for me, just as it is for you. So it'll be interesting to see what pops up, and I'm looking forward to it. Have to think on the spot.
So this time I've started off with some, I guess, more normal questions, but they're gonna get kind of more weird as they go on. So, but
That's perfectly fine.
without any further ado, we are gonna get started.
All right, let's get
So,
started.
first question, we're gonna start off with: would you rather hike up the mountains with Jade or run a marathon with Jack?
Interesting, interesting. You know what? The second I saw this, I kind of already knew what I wanted to pick, and it might not be what you think, but I would go hike up the mountains with Jade.
Oh.
And the reason for this is because I cannot stand running marathons. I just can't. Okay, at least mountain hiking, I can kind of do it at my own pace, and you know, who knows? Maybe like when we get up the mountain, Jade might kill me. I don't know, but you know what? At least I won't feel like I'm dying the whole time. Running a marathon is just you know not my thing. I guess what I'm saying here is I would rather hike up the mountain, possibly getting killed by Jade, than run a marathon.
It feels like you're dying either way. It's interesting because I don't think I've ever really ran a full marathon before. I've done like no kind of jogging. I've done hiking, and I'm pretty bad at it only because I'm just pretty bad with high altitudes in general and just the physical exertion of climbing mountains. But actually I would say Jade as well. Not well, aside from the bias, it's also the fact I'm like, at least I can enjoy the view as and
Yeah,
the nature as I go hike up the mountains, and be like, oh, once we reach the top I can see the nice view from above versus just running a marathon
yeah.
and just
And like nothing
running.
against Jack, nothing against Jack. I
Oh
mean,
no.
I feel like if you were to run a marathon with Jack, he'd be there like encouraging you the whole time. But just seeing like you're there like dying for air, gasping, and he's like not even breaking a sweat as he's like cheering you on, you feel like you want to go harder just to try to be like, Jack, maybe I could keep up with you, Jack, but it's to no avail, okay? Even just like thinking about it, I can feel my lungs hurting from the exertion it would take.
I'm like, yeah, I feel it hurting in both scenarios, but at least I feel like hiking, there is a sense of like a destination in
Hmm.
that versus a marathon where, yes, we can cross the finish line, but you can't really see the finish line or get a sense of it. So,
And there's no break. So
no, you
yeah,
can't
that's
just,
my final
yeah.
choice.
You know what?
That's
Yeah,
my
I'd
final
go the
choice.
same as well. It's
Mm.
funny because I feel like one of the goals I wanted to do was complete like a 5K marathon, but I feel like so many other people can do that. So and then I just like never ended up doing it.
Yeah, fun fact, when I was in high school, I was actually a part of the track and field club briefly, and I actually did do like a 3K run, like a 3K marathon, and I just
Oh.
wanted to die at the end. So yeah, I'm done with that. We're not doing that again.
We're taking our chances. We're going up the mountains. If we don't come back
Yep.
down, so be it.
So be it. That's what the fates had in store for us that day, all right?
And so be it. Okay. On to the next scenario then, since we've agreed on this one.
Mm.
So, with so many different, I know we have at least three types, well, actually four types of races, right? There's humans, there's beast folk or beastmen. I should have called beast folk, but whatever. Merfolk and fae. But this time, I'm just gonna say pick a choice between if you were to be like beast folk or merfolk.
Interesting. Kind of have to think about it for a minute. Because I think both are kind of cool. I mean, especially going by the design of the Tweels and their Merforms, they're pretty sick. But I think I'm gonna be real. I think I'm gonna be real plain here, and I'm gonna go with Beast Folk.
Oh, okay. Gonna go for the
And
land creature versus.
yeah, and the reason why is because actually it's a matter of convenience. I feel like if I'm a beast folk, I can still kind of walk around on land and do whatever. But if I'm a merfolk, I mean, Azul and the Tweels have to like chug this special potion so that they can keep existing on land and like move around. And I feel like that would just be a pain.
True,
I
it's a
enjoy the
very
freedom of being
different.
able to free movement on land. And who knows, maybe I could draw a bad hand and become like a type of beast folk that is really inconvenient. I don't know, but who knows? I could also be something like super cute, like I don't know, like a cat or a bunny.
It's
Yeah,
funny
I don't
because
know. I could be something really cute.
when I was thinking about this question, I was thinking about like when you were a kid in at recess in the playground, did you pretend to be like a wolf or a cat versus
Or
like did you pretend to be a mermaid when you're in the pool?
what if you were both?
I think I think most I would say I've done the same. I've done the same where it's like
Yeah.
I am wherever. Actually, I did not pretend to be a wolf. I don't think I was really much of the like I'm a horse or a wolf or creature, but I definitely
Yeah.
did pretend to be a mermaid whenever we went to the pool.
Mm.
But
What would you choose then?
that's hard because it would be whatever was cool. Wherever I became that was cooler.
Yeah.
Like if I
That's
was
fair.
like, I'd be like, oh, wolf, tiger, like all those strong animals would be like pretty sick. But I was like a rat, it'd be like, okay, that's kind of lame for me.
Yeah,
Or
it
monkey,
would really
like I
depend
don't
on what
know.
kind of card you drew.
Yeah, but then merfolk, I'm like, oh yeah, you could be like a cool, like the Tweels are like really cool, like we got sharks and I don't know, even like maybe jellyfish or whatever. But then you could be like some weird sea creature.
Yeah, I feel like it would really depend either way, but I feel like either way, if you're a merfolk, you have a much higher chance of being something kind of cool. But
Hmm.
still, I think I would like to take that risk just for the ease of being able to be up on land, you know?
Yeah. You know what? I
I'm gonna go
would
beast folk.
I kind of want it to go with merfolk, but it's also
Mm,
really dangerous in the ocean. So I'm like, I feel like from what we've heard so far, the Coral Sea seems a lot more dangerous than being on land. I mean,
yeah.
even with
Also, it's really cold down there, and I don't like being cold,
I
so
don't like being cold either. So I'm like, as much as I think it'd be cool to be a mermaid, I feel like I'd probably die in the ocean.
yeah, same.
Yeah, it'd be kind of dark and cold down there. So yeah, I think I would
For sure.
become a beast man as well. Which just too used to
Yep.
the conveniences.
The comforts of land.
It's nice, being dry.
Yeah, we're not willing to jump into the deep. Not
No.
today.
I mean, I don't mind being
No.
temporary merfolk, but if it was a
Temporary.
permanent, yeah, it
Yeah.
was a permanent thing, I'll probably like, maybe a beast man.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm.
But yeah, that's my choice.
Okay. I mean, valid. Very valid.
Mm, mm.
Next one is listen to Sebek talk about Malleus for 5 hours straight, or listen to Rook talk about Villain Dage for 5 hours straight. Technically,
Oh,
one of these scenarios is already canon, but
technically.
if you were to go through it again, let's say, what would you
Mm,
rather have to listen to?
both scenarios are deeply unpleasant to certain degrees.
Even they're talking about like your
uh,
faves.
I mean, listen, I have entire videos that are just me talking about Twist, whatever. I'm sure if you compiled them, you could easily make a 5-hour video. So I shouldn't be saying anything, okay? People have to listen to me talk about Twist for 5 hours straight. So, but if I had to choose, I'm gonna choose Rook, and here's why. I would listen to Rook talk about Villain Nation 5 hours straight. Mainly because I feel like one, I could actually like maybe slip in a few words here and there and actually either counter what he says or add my own thoughts. Whereas I feel like Sebek just wouldn't let you interrupt him at all. Um, so I think Brooke is a lot more like um, I suppose lenient in that regard. The other reason is because Sebek would just talk on megaphone, like stereo surround sound for 5 hours, just yelling at you for 5 hours straight. Whereas at least Rook, he speaks quickly, but it's at a normal volume.
It's funny because I think like Rook also talks really fast, and sometimes you're
He
just like,
does.
okay, I can't get a word in because he's just talking way too fast. So some of the setback, but I'm like, at least with Bill and Nate, there's a little bit more variety because it's like, okay, he's talking about two people, and then their work. It'd be like a combination of the works they've been in and like with stuff they've done at least, while Malleus is just straight up Malleus. I don't know. I'm like maybe because there's like different branching topics from the village that at least you learn some stuff here and there. But I feel like listening to Sebek talk about Malleus, all I would learn is just Malleus.
Well, I think the other thing too is that at least Rook is kind of able to some degree, like if there was some sort of critique that you had of Vil or Neige, like you'd be able to talk to him about it and he could think about it and maybe point out like, oh yeah, you're correct, or I don't necessarily agree. Like you could almost have an actual discussion about it. Whereas like Sebek, I feel like it's just him glazing Malleus for 5 hours straight with nothing else, no in betweens, at stereo surround sound, and like you can't get a word in or anything. So
It's just like, oh, okay, cool, great combo, great chat.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Sebek talking about Malleus for 5 hours straight would be considered torture in some countries. So
I mean, unless like you want to talk about Malleus and also like if you contribute and talk about Malleus, then it's just
that's
like
the thing. I
be
would love
like,
to. I would love to. I'd love to contribute to that conversation, but I just feel like you wouldn't be able to. You know, even if you tried, Sebek would just sit there and be like, "You don't know anything about Malleus. Let me tell you." Like
but he's the resident expert on all Malleus Draconia.
exactly. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Rook. Also, the last point with Rook is we've seen now in series that we are able to do it and survive to the other side. So
We already know it's like we've done it once, we can do it again.
we can live through it. So
But yeah, it would still be painful in both regards, but it is doable. Just listen to Rook.
yep, for sure.
Talk about villainish.
Yep. So that's my choice.
Mm-hmm. Valid. I think that would be my choice too. In hopes that we can survive this a second time.
For real, but like, we've been nothing but agreeing so far. What is going on here?
We're just too much on the same wavelength, you know. we just vibe on similar bands. All right.
Can't make it interesting enough for our fellow prefects here.
We'll see what we have coming up. Okay.
All right.
We're still in on this because all right, we're gonna start. I'm saying there's some kind of normal questions, and I'll slowly amp it up as we go along. So here's a scenario. Do we want to make Cheka cry or make Marja, who's Apple's Mima, if you remember from Harvested, disappointed in you?
It's hard. I'm curious what you would pick. Like, I want to hear your scenarios.
I feel like I would make Apple's Mima disappointed me only because I fear what will happen to me if I make Cheka cry.
That's fair.
You
know what? I'm gonna be the evil person here, and I'm gonna choose I would make Cheka cry over making Apple's Mima disappoint me. And one of the reasons, because one, I think like it depends on the circumstances. If it's one of those things where I just tell him like, no, you can't have this, and then he cries or something like that. Like how evil are we being here? Like how exactly did I make Cheka cry? You know, right? I feel like it's one of those where if it's like a little thing, even like Leona would just be like, "All right, kid, like get over it," kind of thing. And then because it's Leona, Cheka would be like, "Oh, okay," but like. I don't know, man. I feel like if I made Marja like disappointed in me, I'd carry that shit to the grave with me. Okay,
You're like, I'm sorry, I'm a horrible person.
I'd never be able to forget her look of utter disappointment in me, and I'd be carrying that to the grave, and it'd be like the last thing I see before I die. You know.
I would probably have to accept that fate only because I'm like with making Cheka cry. My it's as bad as it sounds. It's like making Cheka cry is not the whole idea of like, oh no, I made a child cry, because I don't really care about that as much. It's more of like if I make
We are evil people.
I'm not that nice. It's more if I made the next heir of Sunset, like Afterglow, Savannah cry, would like basically whether Kifaji or Neji and his entourage like basically got me on the spot. That is only my one fear. I'm like, do I make the next heir of the throne to cry and hope that they don't slay me on the spot?
My only defense here would be like I would make Cheka cry mainly because I would hide behind Leona.
I'd be like, please help me. If I was on my own, I'm like,
No.
yeah, no.
Yeah. Whereas like for me, making Marja disappointed me, there's no protection from that, okay? There's no bowels of hell that I could escape to that would allow me to escape that look of utter disappointment. So
It would be
That'd be my
heart-wrenching.
choice.
You'd be like, I failed as a human being. I'm sorry,
Yep.
Marja.
Yep. I don't know what I did, but whatever it is, like no matter how much penance I carry out, it's just not enough. So yeah, that's my choice.
It is it is a hard choice.
This one was a harder choice for
It's a
sure.
hard choice. Yeah. For me, it's just fear of consequences. Okay.
Yep. I promise. Actually, it actually did take a minute of me thinking about it. I swear I'm not that evil. Although, you know, it's hard to say that now. Where it's like, yes, I would make a child cry.
I know. Remember that? What was it, that one Vine video where it's like, "What would you do if there was a child right in front of you?"
In front of you.
And then the next it cuts this guy just going like, like a slap.
Yeah.
I'm like, that cracks me up every time. I'm like, I feel so bad sometimes because I'm like, oh no, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but this is actually really funny. I'm sorry.
It is really funny. But yeah.
Okay.
And with that cemented that we are evil people. Let's continue.
All right, we're trying not to make any more children cry today.
Just for today.
All right, next question. Would you try a cake that's baked by Ace, but it's 100% gonna have questionable ingredients because he did it on purpose? Or try a potion that's made by Deuce, but it's gonna have questionable side effects because I don't know how good he is at potions. Let's say that is guaranteed there's gonna be questionable ingredients and guaranteed there's gonna be some sort of side effect, but you don't know what in each.
Okay, you know what? I feel like this would be a difficult choice, but for me, this is not a difficult choice. 100% I would pick Deuce. And it's purely because, at least with Deuce, there's some earnestness to it there. So if there's like bad side effects, you know, he'd be like genuinely apologetic. He'd be like, oh my God, I didn't intend for this to happen. I'm so sorry. And you could just kind of like pat his head and be like, it's okay, Deuce. We'll get through this together. Ace is a little shit and he did it on purpose, okay? He intentionally poisoned you.
It's I mean, you don't know what the side effects will be, but one similarity that they both might have is like, would you try the cake that makes you shit yourself or the potion that makes you shit yourself?
I mean, either way, you're losing. So
you're lose situation.
Because considering that the result is the same either way, where you lose either way, it's like, well, but now it's more of like, what is the context of you, if you're gonna lose, how would you want to lose? By someone who like at least was trying his best or whatnot, or some little shit who did it on purpose.
at least I would say with Ace, at least I have like full, like I would say, reason to beat the shit out of him after.
Absolutely. Whereas like with Deuce, he was trying his best, so you can't really be mad at him.
Yeah, you can't be
You
mad.
just kind of like pat him on the head, be like, it's okay, we'll get through this. And then, once you're done with the side effects, you have to just kind of like let it go. Whereas with Ace, it's like, all right, I'm fully justified now and beating the shit out of you. So
yeah, I was like, it's kind of hard because like part of me is like, yeah, like Deuce because of like the fact that it's not intentional, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know, you could be any side effect. I could start like breaking out in hives, or start losing my hair. At least with eating questionable ingredients, the worst what happen is I might just like throw up or have like horrible runs. But
unless it was some kind of thing like Vill's like unique magic, where it's just like, yeah, now you're paralyzed. Congrats.
Cursed cake.
Cursed cake.
I like to think at least I'd be eating something that won't paralyze me.
Fair enough.
So
I mean, yeah, I suppose like if you're eating like a bad cake or something like that, then the side effects are mostly like intestinal, I guess. Whereas with Deuce's potions, the side effects could be much worse.
Could be much worse. Yeah, it's a gamble. So I might just take the cake because I at least know what the worst outcomes will be. How about that?
I'm gonna be stubborn about it. Be like, I'd rather be accidentally killed by Deuce than have to deal with intestinal problems and Ace's like fucking shit-eating grin. Okay.
Oh yeah, like it'd be a horrible time, but then at least I'd be able to, with valid reason, beat him up after for it.
Go for it. I'm still sticking with Deuce.
Good choices. I just like saying good choices regardless. It sucks either way.
You're losing either way. So if you have to pick one of them, it's still a good choice.
Right. Now, next one. So this time, so we either have Rolo reading your worst fanfics out loud to you, or you must read your worst fanfics out loud to Professor Train. So think of like the worst pics you can have, either the most embarrassing or the worst like thing that you're like, oh god, why did I write this?
Oh, listen, I'm already thinking about it. They're out there in the ether already, okay? But honestly, again, this is one of those where it might be a hard choice, but for me, this isn't a hard choice. 100%, I would make Rolo read my fics to me, purely because I want to see that man suffer a little bit.
Yeah, I think when I think about my worst fan fictions, I'm like they're worse because of my like horrible writing. So I think like having him read them out will actually make them really funny. It's like when you go back, when you like read fics that are clearly written by an amateur, and you're just like, oh, you poor thing, you tried.
You poor thing.
This is really bad, but you tried. That's like me looking into like my past self being like, oh, you really tried, hon. This is not good.
Yeah. And for me, when I think of like the worst fics I ever wrote or whatever, I mean, I used to be quite prolific in writing smut back in the day, so I'm immediately thinking like, oh, some of the bad smut fics that I wrote, and I'm trying to like, I feel like Rolo reading out some of my old smut fics, whatever, is more painful for him than it is for me, because he's sitting there like trying not to be consumed with like, oh, this is horrible and sinful and how dare you write this, but I'm just like grinning at him like a freaking hyena the whole time, just like, yes, suffer a little bit there. Repressed Catholic man.
No, I kind of feel the same way, because I feel like with Professor Trade, I just feel bad for him. It'd be like, I'm sorry, you were subjected to
and I would feel such absolute shame, mainly because for whatever reason, when I'm picturing Professor Train reading my worst fics out loud for some reason. It's like in the classroom setting. Like he's standing there and you're at the front of the class and it's one of those like care to share with the class what you've got there. And he's just like standing there reading your fic out loud into the class and I'm just like I'm consumed with shame and
Oh,
embarrassment.
oh, this is like nightmares that you have where you're like, I
Yeah.
had a dream. My teacher read my smut fanfic in front of the whole class. You're like, oh God, oh
Yeah.
God, no.
That's exactly
No!
what I'm picturing. So I'm just like, you know what? I think I'd rather die. So yeah, you know what? Repressed Catholic man, you can read my worst smut fic and cringe at me all you want because I know that really the only one suffering internally is you. So
Yeah, because I was like, you know what? If someone has to suffer, I will have both of us suffer. So I'm not in
yeah,
this alone.
exactly.
Train does not
Whereas like
deserve this.
well, one, Train doesn't deserve that, and two, I feel like he'd be reading your fic out loud or whatever, but he's not even he's not even cringing or anything. He's just like sighing loudly and just like why kind of thing. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm bring shame upon me, my family, and all all of my pets, you know, like
It's funny too because I feel like he's got that like such. When I imagine like hearing Professor Train narrating, it's kind of almost flat but very articulate. Like he's almost narrating a documentary. So it's almost like the
yeah.
equivalent of like I don't know David Attenborough just like narrating your fic, and it's just like oh no.
But it's like the most like done with you dead monotone voice because he's just like I can't believe I have to do this right now.
Just like the pauses over certain
The
sentences, and you're just like.
And he's just like sitting the whole time, like looking between the fic and looking at you every once in a while, just to make sure that you're still there and you're still feeling the same amount of shame as when he started. Like he's like looking at the papers and then he'll look to you and then back to the papers and like he's still continuing and like and then he took my hand and led me to his bedroom. Like it's just so
Just like no, it gets worse as it keeps going.
he like he throws in every single word. Like he doesn't miss a word. So all the adjectives you would put in there that you were like, I should have probably cut that down a little bit. It's like no, no matter what, all I can picture is just absolute torture in my head. So I'm like, you know what? No, at least if this is gonna be somewhat torturous, Rolo can go down with me. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I just go out. I'm like, yeah, no, this Professor Trey would just be a nightmare scenario where I'm just like, I feel nothing but shame. But at least Rolo, I
Yeah.
could bring down with me.
Exactly. At least Rolo's like cringing at me from behind his handkerchief, but I know he's suffering internally as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's my choice.
It's kind of funny now. I kind of almost want to see this scenario happen because it'd be really.
You know what? Now I kind of almost want to hand Rolo my worst fanfics and be like, here, read this.
Hey, just do it. Double-edged sword. Let's go.
If you guys somehow find my worst fanfics or whatever on like AO3, I don't know. I'll let you pick the next video that I do or something, okay? If you manage to find them, because they're still there out in the ether somewhere, all right?
Someone in a void. You won't find mine. I think they're all written in like school notebooks, like they're all like battered, beaten over the years.
Oh no, I went the extra mile and I posted mine online, so they're out there for people to, I guess, enjoy? Question mark.
It's like all the props to you, contributing to the community.
The one hint I'll give is that they're not twist because it's been a very long time since I wrote any fanfic, and that was before I got into twist. So
Yeah, it's been a long time for me too.
man, I should write more. Either way, let's keep going before we get too far in the weeds here. Get stun locked.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Next one. So, scenario 1. Rook likes only the worst of the magic cam photos you're tagged in and provides an honest review on each one, or Cater only comments slay on all of your magic cam posts regardless of context.
Oh man.
So
I guess either way, there's some secondhand embarrassment going on here, but honestly, I feel like I'm gonna go with K-kun here, and I'll tell you why. Mainly because one, I feel like even though K-kun commenting slay to me has like no weight to it. He's just commenting slay, and I'm just like, all right, it's kind of ridiculous. But with Rook, if he's providing an honest review of all of my worst Magic Camp photos, it's gonna be like the scenario where he met Vil, where he just gets unsolicited like critique that you didn't ask for. And he just like tears into. He's honest about it, but he tears into them in a way where I'm just like, ow.
It's got there's some positive ones I would assume, and some like really just way too honest ones, where
Yeah.
it's just like, oh yes, it's worse. I said it's the worst of the Magic Camp photos you're tagged in, because when you upload photos of yourself, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go and pick the best ones. I'm like, okay, this is the good
Yeah.
lighting. I'm gonna take like 3 photos. I'm gonna pick the best one to post. But when you're tagged in other people's photos, it just be like mid blink shots, or like you're halfway.
Like you're off to the side. Yeah, like you're off to the side taking a bite of food or something, or like you're not looking at the camera, so it's like a bad angle.
You're gonna be
shit.
sneezing or something,
Yeah.
or like you're just making weird faces, but he's just like, nope, and like a review underneath.
Yeah,
one.
and it's like, oh man.
Like, but at the same time, for Cater, you're just like, oh my god, guys, I'm trapped in this Caribbean door. I'm trying to dig myself out with a spoon. I'm like, oh my god, guys, they came and they stole my cat. They kidnapped this. The school is being infiltrated. Help! And then Cater's just like, slay.
Like, yeah. It's like, thanks, Keikun, you're not helping in any way. Thank you.
Help! The
Like,
headmaster.
oh my god,
is
guys,
going
what
to
am I
kick
gonna
me
do?
out. I only have 10 medals for my next meal. How am I gonna survive this month? Slay.
Slay. Oh my god, you guys, what's going on? We have to go down this giant tower like structure in sticks. I think we're gonna die. There's phantoms everywhere. Slay.
You're just like going through the most horrible moments of your life, being like with like a cry for help while you pose. That he's just like,
Yeah,
slay.
slay. Like I don't know, guys. We're like trapped in this room where there's nothing but blot monsters everywhere. Slay. Although in that case, it's more like slay, slay. Slay
Oh
them
yeah,
all.
just different variations. Slay with one Y versus like slay.
With like multiple Y's, and then there's like the slay with the little lilt at the end, and then like all caps slay. Like
It's just like most unhelpful for a comment
absolutely,
at all. But I mean,
absolutely.
like, I feel
I'm still gonna go with Keikun.
I'm like, at least it's like, Kier, you're not helping in the least. Rook is like, yes, the Rook, I feel like a 50-50, because sometimes you'd be like, God, that's an ugly photo, but he'd be like, no, that's like, the lighting was so good in this. I love like the way, like, natural framing of your face in this photo. So you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's not so bad. And other times it's like you're disheveled for him in the morning. It provides like a different sense of beauty, and you're like, okay, that's a backhand comment.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's like
hmm.
exactly the unsolicited like comments. It's really 50-50. It could be actually like he says something really nice about you, or something absolutely scathing, and you're like, "Ow, okay." Whereas with Keikun, I feel like either way, it's a neutral comment. So I'm gonna play it safe and stick to neutrality.
Right. I mean, I might just go with Rook, because I think it'll be kind of interesting to get that like 50-50 gamble. Since I'm like, if I'm tagging other people's photos, I don't have a choice either way, so I might as well get a positive comment if I can out of it.
I see. Koa-chan going for absolute gotcha here, the 50-50.
50-50. I'd be like, God, Ace, why'd you tag me in a shitty photo? And Rook being like, actually, no, this is a good photo. I'd be like, oh, okay. I'll take those chances.
I feel a little bit better about it now.
Yeah. I'll take those chances.
Yep. All right, sounds good. I'll go with Keikun, and you can go with Rook.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. On to the next one. I'm like, which I actually lost count of the number we're on. But oh well.
To be honest,
yeah, I don't remember. Oh well, we'll keep going.
keep going.
All right. So you have to either live stream a mukbang with Lord Leech, and he insists on only eating the weirdest combination of food, or you have to create a get ready with me video with Vil Schroenhai, but you're the one getting ready and he's just gonna stand there and like watch and
Oh
critique.
no. Oh, this is really hard. Oh, this is very difficult because I feel like with Floyd, it's really like it's like a live wire, you know? It's like holding a it's
It
like
really
holding
is a
a
roulette.
Russian
You are literally playing a
the
Russian roulette.
Yeah, except I feel like at least like two. I feel like at least two of those barrels are full, you know. But with Vil, oh man, the constant like judgment that you see just off screen. Because man, me getting ready, like it's the antithesis to Vil. Okay. Oh, that's the thing. If he was helping me and being like, "Here, I'll give you all these tips," that'd be one thing. But if he's just standing there watching me fail at life, then
It's
I
like,
don't know if
would
my
you
poor heart can
prefer
handle that.
he actually gave some critique or he just stood there and made faces?
I don't know how badly do I want to be cut down that day.
That's it, like waking
hmm.
up and getting
But
some.
that's the thing is I feel like with Floyd there's like the bodily harm being done depending on what you're eating there. Like you just eat something that just does not agree with you, or like you can't get the weird taste out of your mouth or something like that. Whereas a Vil, it's like an internal mental attack, you know?
It's your choice. Do you want physical damage or emotional damage?
Damage. Oh, that's really hard. I feel like if it was anyone but Floyd, it might turn out a bit different, but Floyd is just he's just such a loose cannon that you really don't know what's gonna come up. I feel like, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna be contrary here. I'm gonna go with Floyd. I
Oh.
know, Vil is right
Oh.
there. Vil is right there, and I can see all you guys being like, "Oh my god, what Little Bean is not going with Vil? What is this? The world is ending." But hear me out here, okay? You know what? I feel like if Vil was actually giving some solid advice or something that was helping me out, I feel like that would at least be one thing. But if he's either just like only critiquing or he's just standing there watching me the whole time, my getting ready thing is basically the complete antithesis to Vil, okay? Maybe that's why I like him so much. This is a he can fix me scenario, okay? But yeah, I would feel so bad disappointing him and whatnot. Just be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not worthy of you. Whereas at least with like it's basically nothing but bad vibes there. Whereas at least with Floyd, yeah, it could lead to some bad scenarios. But at least by the end of it, you could say you kind of had fun.
Yeah, if you go along with him and maybe yeah, some of the foods will be absolutely nasty, but you'll be like, you know what, that was cool. That was a cool combination. Never thought of that before.
Yeah, and to be fair, if you ate something and it had made like a weird face or you're just like reacted strongly, whatever, and like then Floyd would kind of laugh at you, and then you have that little bit of satisfaction where it's like, at least we had fun and you got to see Floyd enjoying himself and laughing a little bit. And so, yeah, I feel like by the end it'd be like, all right, you know what, that was kind of a horrible experience, but we had fun with it. Whereas I feel like with Vil, it's just bad vibes all around. You feel bad, he feels bad. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Floyd.
I actually would take my chances with Vil in this case.
Oh, brave.
Yeah,
Brave.
only because one is I have a sensitive stomach, which is ironic considering I've taken my gambles before in the past with other scenarios. But all it takes is for Floyd to put in one ghost pepper or some like really like hot chili pepper, and I would just instantly perish. Like I would just be like,
done.
I'd be like, I can't eat anything else. I'm just like crying on stream now.
I'm sorry. As I'm pretty good with spicy food or whatnot, so like it would be okay for me. I can eat I can eat spicy food. I just it's more of like if I eat anything that's bitter, I'm like, okay, now I can't get that flavor out of my mouth. Please, I need to eat something else because I just can't. In fact, I encourage please put the ghost pepper in so I can taste something other than this bitterness. But still, to me, I'm just like, I would be so ashamed to disappoint Vil with my entire being that like
I'm a
I'll
little.
happily go with Floyd's Russian roulette, you know?
I actually have a little more confidence in the get ready with me because I'm like I do at least have like a 3 or 4 step like cleansing routine plus like makeup, and I'm like, okay, any critique he gives me, at least I'll be like, okay, cool, I will pocket that free consultation information and use that later. So I'm not starting from scratch. At least it's more like, okay, here's my morning routine. What you think, and anything you want to add to it, it'd be like, okay, cool, free advice from world famous model Bill Schunheit. Pocket that
Yeah,
information.
I'm just yeah, knowing me, my morning routine is just the complete antithesis of Vil. So yeah, that's not like here I got some steps and he can give me advice. This is literally like he's just like, why? Why are you like this?
I feel like
I'm sorry. I'm a disappointment to all.
I will take the emotional damage, any possible emotional damage, because I know as soon as there's any spice um in that food stream, I'll cry. So it'll be a physical pain
Right.
for me.
There we go. Well, at least we differ in this regard. So yeah, I'm quite I'm satisfied with this. I'll take my chances with the ghost peppers or whatnot that Floyd puts in his food over just Vil looking at me with the most disappointed, like I can't believe you face.
That's just Bill's
That hurts
face
way.
in general. I think Apple could tell you all about it.
Yeah, but at least they got some steps going on there. I think I'm beyond hope. So
It's never too late. He can fix me.
he can fix me.
He can fix me if any man can fix me. I'll let Bill Schroenheit fix me.
Yeah. Like when I say I'm the antithesis of Vil, I am the antithesis of Vil. Okay. Either way, let's keep going.
All right, so we've gone through some scenarios of suffering. So I'll let you up a little bit with a positive experience. So number 9 out of 10. Have I don't know if his name's Dinah or Dina. I always can't remember. But Deuce's mom, in any case, you want to cheer you on in any school event. Could be a sports festival, could be a musical concert, or have Mama Shroud cheer you on instead. So whose mom would you prefer cheering you on at a school event?
Okay, listen, this is super easy for me. As much as I do like Mama Shroud, and I think she's adorable and awesome and clearly like the genius of the family, I have a special place in my heart for Dinah Spade. I'm calling her Dinah because I'm pretty sure that was the name of Alice's cat. It was Dinah.
Okay.
So yeah, Dinah Spade, 100%. Deuce's mom has got it going on, and if she was to cheer me on, I would get so much like life energy out of that. Okay, absolutely, 100%. Dinah, all the way.
Yeah, Dinah just gives us. So she deserves the world. I love Deuce's mom. It's like
She's
just
so
a sweet,
good, man.
such a sweetheart.
One of the other reasons that if you're like a Deuce stan and Deuce is your husbando, you chose right. You know, like. Can you imagine having Dinah as your like mother-in-law? Absolutely, 100%. Like
It's
best
like
mom-in-law.
that's like one of the perks. It'd be like, oh yeah, if you end up with Deuce, you get Dinah as your mother-in-law. She's great.
You get Dinah as a mother-in-law, literally the 180 complete opposite of any situation with Riddle.
Mm.
Best mom-in-law versus worst mom-in-law.
Yeah, such a scale.
Oof.
It is.
Oof. On a it's basically on a scale of best to worst mom-in-law between Riddle's mother and Deuce's mother. Like,
Yeah. It's like it's kind of funny because like we haven't seen anyone else's moms yet, so I kind of feel like we need to see more mothers to flesh out the scale.
What gets? I mean, to be fair, I mean, I did kind of neglect to mention that, like, you know, on one end is Dinah, but if you go past Dinah, or like somewhere floating around in the abyss near Dinah is probably Malianor, but Malianor, I don't know, man.
Mm,
Depends on if she likes you.
yeah, Melanie is just is more of the oh my gosh, she's so cool.
Yeah. But we're getting into a mom stun lock here, so let's just keep it to these two
Yeah,
moms. I'm gonna go with
it's
Dinah.
oh Dinah. I'm like, oh, Mama Shroud's so cute though, and like
She's
she's
adorable.
so adorable, especially when her high pitched voice there. Be like, you can
Yeah,
do it.
you can do it. And
I
you know
believe
she would
in you.
give you she you know she'd give you some kind of like cute nickname, especially like if you were dating Idia or something like that. She'd give you some sort of cute nickname.
Oh yeah, like her that she does with her sons, and like so
Yep.
adorable. Like,
Yeah, she's so cute. She's
yeah. You know
adorable.
what? I would have to say Dinah as well. I like Mama Shroud, but I feel like I really want to see a face reveal for Mama Shroud. I don't know if they ever
Yeah,
do
I
one.
do too. I really want to see what she actually is. And not only that, but like Dinah Spade would be like 100%. It'd be like that loud, like "Let's go"
You
kind
can
of
do
cheering,
it!
like
Yeah!
full of
Take first
energy. You
place!
yeah, you can't help but be energized by it, you know?
It's like, yeah. Well, if she's cheering on in the stand, you can't disappoint her.
Exactly. You just get your boost of energy and confidence back. Any fatigue that you may have felt is now gone, you know?
You gotta do it. Do it for Dinah.
Do it for Dinah.
Do it for Dinah. I
Absolutely.
do it for Dinah.
Deuces. Do it. We all do it for Dinah, all right? Deuces' mom has got it
mm,
going on. Do it for her.
mm. Like Mama Shroud's
Yep.
cute, but we'll this time it'll go to Dinah.
Can't resist best mom here, okay?
That's
As
mom.
far as I know.
Hope for future mom reveals.
Exactly.
Okay. Well then, and the last one is completely out of pocket.
All right.
I'm sorry if it's too topical or close to home. I'm just gonna round off with this random
Mm,
shot here.
go for it.
Argue with Azul to explain why exposure is not a valid form of payment, or explain inflation and the housing crisis to Crowley.
Oh boy. Both of these scenarios are literally like end game bad end route for me, okay? Like, oh my god. Both of these, I immediately feel just the overwhelming sense of annoyance and dread.
It's one of those like this is not gonna be a short explanation or argument in either
No,
scenario. You had to
no,
brace yourself to be like, I gotta start pulling out receipts. I gotta start
you're,
like preparing these in my
yeah,
head.
just the longest irritated sigh ever because you know you're about to be in a multiple hour stun lock that you can't escape because they're going to try to worm their way around your conversation at every turn and you have to keep them in place.
It's like, trying to argue with like one of NRC's like biggest move talkers here, or explain the housing crisis to a boomer.
Either way,
I don't know
it's
how old Crowley
pain.
is, but I'm just
Either way, it's
like
pain.
I imagine it's trying to explain that how it's explaining to a boomer. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, it's basically it. It's either way, it's painful. You know what though? I'm gonna take my chances with Burb Dad, and I'm gonna try to explain inflation and the housing crisis to him. Mainly because one, I have a little bit of knowledge on those topics, and I can kind of sit him down and make him feel guilty if he tries to escape a little bit, you know? Whereas I feel like with Azul, it's just this constant like cratering down further and further into like more annoyance with me at least because of my own problems with Azul. So I'm just
The
like
bias.
I feel like just the longer I'm in discussion with Azul, the more pissed off I would get.
It's like, It's like I feel like with Azul, it'd be at least a little more back and forth. For Crowley, I feel like he's so dismissive at times. He might just not even listen. So I think I feel
Yeah.
like with I might go with Azul because at least I'd be able to get a word in. I feel like Crowley just wouldn't really listen to me.
Well, to be fair, Kocha, I feel like you personally would be able to handle Azul much better than I could. Whereas I feel like, all right, I'll do my best to handle Burb Dad. Okay, I'll make him feel guilty for not paying his child support. Also, I when it just topics of discussion sort of like economy in terms of like payment, that kind of thing, versus like a social issue. I have much more knowledge on the social issues, so I feel like I'm a little bit more of an advantage in that regard. And again,
Mm.
also just who I would be talking to. I feel like Crowley, yes, I know he's like going out of his way to avoid the conversation or answering any questions or like pretending he doesn't know any better. But at least I know that. Whereas Azul, his smug aura mocks me. Okay, like I can't.
You're just like, oh, I just want to punch his face.
Yeah, I'm like I don't. I'm just there. Like I don't want to explain this to him. I just even just this smug fucking look, and he pushes up his glasses like he wants to own me in the next argument, and I'm like, no, insufferable. I can't.
It's like, you know what, that is completely valid. I think the thing with Crowley is just like I've had to explain the economy way too many times to like my boomer aunt. I was like, you know what, that's I will take my chances with someone who is at least younger.
Oh, listen, I've done it too. I've done it too with my like freaking white aunties who don't understand that as boomers they've like completely fucked up the entire economy and situation, whatever. And they're like, I just don't know what they're talking about. Okay, it's not that bad. And when we were younger, whatever, like they're still in that stage.
Oh my
you know.
god.
So I've had to explain to them several times. So I feel like, you know what, now I'm an experienced veteran in terms of explaining the current modern day social problems. So you know what? I'll just take it and do it again with Crowley, okay?
Oh yeah,
At least
like,
at least
let me explain you
at
a
least with
thing.
yeah, at least with Crowley's complete dismissiveness, it's annoying, but it doesn't make me want to punch him necessarily. Whereas Azul, I can't promise anything. All right, I can't promise that the gloves aren't going to be coming off and we're going to be throwing hands. So
It's funny too because I'm like, ah, yes, the housing crisis. You know, like the time at Ramshackle where
you know, water got shut off,
oh,
the
I got
ceiling caved in at one point. Like, pretty sure there were like there's an infestation at one point. Had to get rid of that. You know, like it just like list a whole bunch of things and make him feel a little bit guilty. Okay, so yeah, my final answer, I will choose Crowley.
Mm-hmm. I will take my chances with Azul.
All right. Please, you know, good luck explaining to your husband there, okay?
Exposure's a valid form of payment. You can't pay the bills through exposure, but yeah, that is gonna be 5 hours later.
Yeah, exactly.
Still going at it.
Me with Crowley, it's just like that meme of like the girl with like the, you know, explaining why inflation and the housing crisis, you know, is screwing everyone over and why we can't, you know, afford to do anything in Ramshackle. And Crowley's just like the other shot of the woman sitting on the couch, like with her head back, kind of thing, you know, like.
We just doing our best.
Just doing our best. But yeah, that's my choice.
Nice. It's yeah, two bad situations. What we pick the ones we can deal with. But yes, that was the last one. It's a weird note to end on. I know. I kind of just like pulled a random roulette grab bag of scenarios because why the hell not?
But it's fun though. I like it. So you know, it's good.
No, it's fun too. Coming up with the scenarios because I kind of come with them, but then I don't really think about it too much until we discuss it. I'm like, you know what? Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of stuff is fun. And like guys, if you want more of these, like let us know in the comments because it's fun to do them, and we're totally curious about what your answers would be too. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you'd like to do more of these kind of would you rather scenarios. And also if you want to sort of like theme any of them, you can come up with scenarios for specific themes, or you know, I don't know, we can get a little bit spicy maybe, who knows. Either way, just let us know in the comments what you think, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and have fun answering them on your own.
Yeah, I hope you had a fun time following along with this video. I know it was fun seeing the comments in the previous Would You Rather videos and seeing the choices that some people made and their reasoning for it. So yeah, definitely let us know. How would you handle? What would you choose? Would you rather? We'd want to
Yep.
hear all about it. But thank you all for joining us on this journey. Thank you again, Little Bean, for indulging in these silly
No
scenarios.
problem. I'm also indulging. And of course, if you guys want to see more Twisted Wonderland content, be sure to follow both Koa Miyo and myself on my channel because we're always posting more content as it is coming out. So please look forward to any upcoming stuff. But for now, everyone, this is Little Bean.
And this is Koa Miyo. Hope
Be
you.
sure to take care of yourselves and of each other. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye. Until next time.